And so you had two newborns babies. How are you paying for those babies?
Say it again.
You have two newborn babies. How are you paying for those babies?
We are about to watch the parole revocation hearing for this man who was originally locked up for doing this. Now, he was out on parole, and if he gets revoked, he's going to have to back up all his time. I'll unpack it with more details at the
Right. Mr. Webster, good morning.
Good morning.
Would you introduce yourself? Tell us your name and DOC number, please.
Romalis Webster, 750548.
Yes, Mr. Webster, good morning. My name is Cheryl Renatza. Seated to my left is Mr. Danny Barra, and to my right is Mrs. Carolyn Stapleton. I want to acknowledge some folks who have joined us. Your son, Romalis Fontenberry, he is here on Zoom observing, does not wish to speak. And we have Tamia Jones also here, who she does want to speak. So we'll call on her rather at the appropriate time. You are here for a revocation decision, and I think there in front of you, you should have some paperwork for a revocation questionnaire.
Yes, ma'am.
That's your signature at the bottom of that page.
Yes, ma'am.
And based on the information contained in that questionnaire, it was determined you're not eligible for appointed counsel, for an appointed lawyer today. Are you ready to proceed?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'm going to read the allegations against you, Mr. Webster, after which you'll enter a plea of guilty or not guilty, and then we'll have a conversation about it. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Ready? You're accused of violating the conditions of your parole, specifically condition number 4, which states you were involved in criminal activity as evidenced by your arrest on April 8, 2024 by Harahan Police Department for domestic abuse battery, strangulation, and domestic abuse child endangerment. So how do you plead to violating condition number 4?
Not guilty.
Then we have condition number 6. It says you failed to show written proof of employment. How do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Guilty.
Okay. And the next one is number 10. You're currently in arrears $1,047 in supervision fees. You haven't made a payment since July 21st, 2023. How do you plead to violating condition number 10?
Guilty.
All right. So your case has been assigned to me. I'll take the lead on the interview. I'll start asking the questions. So, Mr. Webster, tell us what happened. Why were you arrested by Harahan?
I was arrested because my baby mother's called the police on me.
Why?
Child, because we was not seeing eye to eye. She was going through postpartum depression, and that was her way of just trying to control me.
Trying to control you, you said?
Yes, ma'am.
So she had some injuries. How did she receive her injuries?
Not for me. She had a fight before that with another female I was messing with.
So you were there when they had the fight?
Can you say it again, ma'am?
They were there, you were there rather, when the two women had a fight?
Yes, ma'am.
What'd you do?
Just trying to diffuse it.
Well, when I'm reading the information in the report that we got, some of the information that you gave during your preliminary hearing conflicted with what was in the police report. What would you say to that? You know, just you're not being very forthcoming about what happened. Why did the women fight?
Oh, because they was getting tired over me. I got 2 newborns at one time. February 22nd and March 15th. Red Desire Webster and Romalis Jr.
2 different women.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, let's move on. Why weren't you working?
I be working with my dad sometimes, but most of the time I be at home watching the babies. But when I first got out, I had a job on Burgundy at Betty's Bar.
What happened to that job?
It had closed down.
And so you had two newborns babies. How are you paying for those babies?
Say it again.
You have two newborn babies. How are you paying for those babies?
Sometimes I got houses with my father, and he helped me out.
And so I guess tell us why you hadn't paid your fees. Same reason.
Yes, ma'am. I could follow up on him. He was willing to pay it for me, my father.
It's your responsibility.
Yes, ma'am.
Anything else you want to tell us?
I had a letter. I could read a letter. I had a letter I wrote. If that's okay with y'all.
Go ahead.
How y'all doing? My name is Romalis W DOC. In life, I had a few ups and downs, like any other normal human being. Since I have been out, I have stayed out of trouble, complied with my parole officer from meeting her every month to never failing a drug test. I take responsibilities on the payments, but promise to follow up on them. Right now, I have two children, Rare Desire Webster, February 22nd, 2024, and a son born March 15, 2024. Since then, I feel like I have failed them since I left their side. Since they have been born, I have seen is more things in this world, and I have seen is more things in this world with violence, more things with getting into violence, more things in life. Since my kids been born, I have not been seen eye to eye with my mother, but eye to eye with their mothers, but still respect them in the most way and forgive them. I ask today that I continue to be the father in my child's life that my father have taught me to be. Thank you.
All right. And you mentioned you don't see eye to eye with the children's mothers, but you forgive them. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I said we don't be saying eye to eye, but I still forgive them for all the stuff they put me through. I respect them in each way.
All right. Okay, I don't have any other questions. I want to defer to my colleagues.
Well, I don't really have any questions, but I just want to let you know that you say you were there and broke up the fight, but the video of the fight doesn't show you nowhere around there. So I got to believe the video on that.
Same thing, and then we got also a statement that Ms. Jones provided pictures with a text. And that he beats me every day, held a gun to my face, pistol whipped me, busted my baby's lip. I'm afraid for my life. And he said that if I put him in jail when he bonds out, that he'll kill me. I'm scared. And the picture of the baby with what appears to be a cut to his lip. The evidence provided regarding the allegations.
Thank you. Miss Jones, is there anything you'd like to tell us?
Can you hear me?
Can.
Okay. Good morning. On April 5th, I got into an altercation with another female, and the fight was really bad. It was more than one female. It wasn't just the person he was dealing with, but it was also her friends. And during that time, it left me with bruises and marks on my face. I also had braids that I had in my hair. And once I took the braids out of ponytail, I had a lot of bald spots. A lot of my braids came out, and I was upset with Romalis because I felt as he should have been home comforting me and my baby, but instead he ran to her, and then he brought my child around her. So I felt disrespected. I was hurt, and I may have fabricated the story. I may have said he did those things to me, and it wasn't him. I got into altercation prior to that. But Romalis is a good father to my son. He watches my son. I'm a patient care technician. I work at University Hospital, and I'm also in nursing school. I'm a nursing assistant, and I'm also in nursing school. And Romalis has been a great help. He watches my son when I need him to watch him. He has a bond with my son. He built a bond with my son, and I just want him to be able to come home and help me with my baby, because due to him being in jail, I lost my job because I don't have a babysitter. I was in foster care, so I do not have much support as far as coming from my family. So Romalis was kind of my only source of help. And I just don't want him to miss my son's first steps, his first words, because of a decision I made. I was going, and I felt like Romalis could have been there for me a little bit more, and he wasn't. And then we had a lot of stuff going on with him doing it back and forth between me and another female, and I was hurt in the moment. But Romalis has never harmed me or my son. Those pictures that I sent, those are pictures from the incident that occurred. The scratch on my son has long fingernails, so he scratches his face. He would never harm my son. My baby's an innocent baby. Whatever we have going on, it don't have nothing to do with my son. So all of that was a lie.
All right, well, thank you for that. We appreciate you speaking to us this morning. But I think we're prepared to vote. Mr. Webster?
Yes, ma'am.
Like has been said, we have, the video speaks volumes, and it's in direct conflict with what both you and Ms. Jones are saying. My vote today is going to be to revoke your parole. And I encourage Ms. Jones, there are resources available to you in the community that can help assist you with your situation. But today, sir, I find you guilty of violating condition number 4. Mr. Barra.
I vote as Ms. Renata did, revoke probation based on the video that we've seen.
Ms. Stapleton.
I concur, and also I would really stress that Ms. Jones, you need to seek out a shelter just for the counseling, because there is another history of domestic abuse battery in his past. You may or may not know about it, but that is very, very dangerous. So, try and get some help, try to get some counseling so that you can do better. They have help for you too, okay? So
All right.
my vote is to revoke.
Mr. Webster, today your parole is revoked. We're going to sign off. It's 11:57.
I just love that Miss Stapleton said that at the end, because how many of these revocation hearings have we seen over and over and over and over again, where the victim comes up and just says, "Oh, it was all a lie. It never happened." And it's frustrating. It's frustrating to see it. I think all of us feel the frustration. It's like, why are these women picking these men to be in their lives? From what she said, it seems she has a promising career. She's well educated. She has so much in the future. Why pick a violent felon? And I'm just happy Miss Stapleton brought it up, and I don't know if it will lead to anything, but it's frustrating. And she hinted to the crime that he was convicted of, and here it is. Man accused of kidnapping and hitting and threatening to kill a woman at gunpoint. This is in 2020. I don't know how much time he's backing for this crime on this revocation. It's not clear to me at all. But New Orleans police have secured a warrant to arrest a man accused of forcing a woman into a car, hitting her while wielding a gun, threatening to kill her. Here it says he's 21. Is wanted on the count of kidnapping, aggravated assault. Police said Tuesday. According to police, Webster allegedly made the woman get into the vehicle being driven by another man in the 5700 block about 8:30 p.m. Saturday. Webster, who was armed with a gun, attacked the woman and threatened to take her life as the driver took them several places. The woman managed to escape and call police. New Orleans court records pertaining to a separate case show a man with Webster's name and birthday pleading guilty in December as a first-time offender to charges of kidnapping and battery in exchange for 3 years probation. So if what they're alluding to, and we don't know, is that it's the same man, he was given probation on his first charge and violated, and it's just like a great path for success. And it's heartbreaking to see it and to hear the excuses made. And, you know, I'm glad that the parole board revoked, and he definitely picked the wrong board to mess around with. But there you have it. If we see him again, we'll keep you posted. Thank you, Richard, for sharing the information on this case as always. And with that, I'll let you go.